encourage your support, Apostle David Juma is giving a powerful gift. His transformational book, Restructuring Your Money. With every gift of only 2,000 Kenyan shillings, you receive this life-changing book, personally autographed by Apostle David, and you sow into a legacy of faith. Partner with us. Possess the land. Build God's house. The time is now. Elevate TV, advancing kingdom lifestyle.
Good morning, good day, depending on where you're tuned in from. This is the Thursday Morning Digest, and as always, we come to you from our Elevate TV studios right at the heart of the city of Nairobi. I'm your host, 𝗪𝗓𝗏, and we always get for you the best of guests to talk to you, to enlighten you, to inform you about matters and subjects that are key, especially for women in the marketplace. And today is no exception as we discuss women in governance. And this is our second part of a discussion we began last month, where we were looking at what it takes for women to be in governance, what it takes for them to thrive in governance, and what it takes for them actually to build relationships, to build capacity so that they can thrive in that space. And today, as I had last month, I have the privilege and honor to host 𝗪𝗂𝗪𝗏𝗍, who will introduce herself to us, and then we can pick up our discussion from there. So we are live on Facebook, we are live on YouTube. Kindly share that link with your colleagues, with your friends, with your neighbors, so that they can participate in this very important discussion. We don't lock men out, so please feel welcome, comment, share, ask your questions, and we will address them. So karibu sana Vivian, it's an honor and pleasure to have you on this show.
Thank you so much, Lorraine.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
So for the sake of our viewers, maybe just introduce yourself again, and then we can pick up our discussion.
Asante sana. Good morning, viewers. My name is 𝗪𝗂𝗪𝗏𝗍. I am an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I practice in Nairobi. I am pleased to be here.
All right. Karibu sana.
Asante.
Karibu sana. Last month we spoke about women in leadership, and I think we addressed quite a number of challenges that women face. But I think one of the things that I felt we needed to re-emphasize and talk about is the internal obstacles,
Yes.
where women feel inadequate, where there's imposter syndrome, where women feel, maybe I can't, that only men can thrive in certain spaces. So I want to shoot straight and ask, have you had certain or such instances in your life where you felt, maybe I'm overreaching? Or do you know women who have had that, and how do you think as women we should overcome that?
Thank you so much, Lorraine.
Yeah.
It is interesting that you asked me that question. Actually, it's the first question.
Yes.
It's a conversation I had with one of my seniors recently.
Yes.
Someone I consider a mentor.
Yes.
And I was telling him, I do not know, I asked him, I do not know whether you experienced this, but I experienced it a lot in the recent days. And he told me it is very normal. It is actually human. And in fact, he said, it would be weird if you didn't experience, because that is a sign of growth. But I think the many times, because it's many times I experienced that,
yes,
I tend to take a step back,
okay,
you know, take a step back and try to see clarity.
okay.
I also talk to people that I think, you know, lift up my, you know, my courage, and, you know, believe in my capacity. So for me, those two things, you know, are the things that I do so often.
Okay.
And I think, yeah, as women, and perhaps just leaders, but generally as leaders, but particularly women leaders, because you keep stepping into spaces that are not very conventional.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do not see a lot of you in those spaces, and so you often meet such, you know, thoughts of self-doubt. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to the women out there, the message this morning is, those thoughts will come, but you have to find a way to deal with them. Get people that speak into your life, that help you to actually see your value. Okay. So maybe again, still on the same issue, is what is your advice, especially to the younger women coming up? Because there is something about having the capacity to actually do it, and lacking capacity but having ambition. So there's where there's capacity, but naturally you feel inadequate because of your surroundings and the places that you have to go. But then there could be those that are younger that actually don't have the capacity, but are just ambitious, you know, and they want to make it, they want to move forward, and they aspire for big things. Yeah. What would be your advice to such young women?
Thank you, Doreen. I think I will start by addressing the second part of your question. Those without capacity, but with ambition.
Yes.
My view is that capacity is nurtured.
Okay.
We are not born with capacity.
Okay.
I think capacity is nurtured, and it's nurtured in many ways. One of them that I would think of is mentorship.
Yes.
So I think mentorship is very critical.
Yes.
And mentorship is in many forms.
Yes.
So there's observation, there's reading, there's also now, you know, talking to people that you think would, you know, capacitate you in different ways.
Yes.
And so I think if there's ambition and no capacity, that is something that you can nurture.
Yes.
So you just find yourself right spaces to go step into, right platforms, and ways of capacitating yourself. And those with capacity, but without, you said opportunities.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the same thing, you know, look for, or rather find this fora or people that can hold your hand.
Okay.
At the end of the day, I think mentorship still just plays a very significant role.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I hear from you is, it's not bad to have ambition without capacity. Yes. What you need to do is seek mentors.
Yes.
Let them hold your hand and let them guide you. Yes. Fantastic. So then we have no reason to feel inadequate, isn't it?
Not at all.
Wow. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. So now that you've touched on mentorship, how does one go about seeking mentors? Because for women, I think, as you rightly said, the issue of imposter syndrome is a little more felt by women, even though it is across board. Yeah. But women suffer more from it. So how can we go about finding mentors? What are the considerations?
Thank you. I may not be able to tell necessarily that there is a specific way of going about it, but I am convinced that it will highly depend on which path you desire to take in life. Okay. And which part will then inform the kind of support and capacity that you will need to build, and that need will inform the kind of persons that you will need to seek out, the kind of spaces that you will need to step in. And so I think it is a build-up of all those things. So there may not necessarily be a formula, but then it will be informed by a lot of things, your desire, you know,
So let me stop there first. So desire. So I have a desire, for example, to get into academia. My end goal is to be a professor, perhaps dean in a faculty, and perhaps vice chancellor someday. So what I hear you to be saying is, if that is my ambition and that's the space I want to be in,
Yeah.
what should I do?
So you will have to look at these people that are leading in those spaces.
Yes.
And I think then, let's say for instance, I can use law because that is the space
Yes.
that I am familiar with.
Yes.
So if I want to be in academia and in a specific field,
Yes.
you know, area of practice, for instance,
Yeah.
there are people that have excelled in that area. So those are the people that I will seek out. Those are the people that I will seek out because they have already taken the path that I desire to take.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's why I say it will be your desire, and then you look in those spaces to see who
is in
gone
that
ahead
space.
of you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How easy is it to approach mentors?
It is not easy, neither is it difficult.
Okay.
Yes.
From your experience.
Interestingly, the people that have always reached out to
Yes.
are always more than willing
Oh, wow.
to meet you. They're always more than willing to hold your hand. And then I know in other instances I have wondered, why did I think so much before reaching out to this person?
Yeah.
Because the kind of reception that you get is, you know, like overwhelmingly
Yes,
good.
yes.
So I think you just need to just do that call, just do that email, just drop that text, and you will see.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not as difficult as we may imagine in our heads. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, people are willing. People are willing to mentor. People are willing to hold our hands.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So just send that text.
Yeah.
Reach out. You never know.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in terms again of leadership and perhaps your personal journey, how do you balance the expectations that society places on you and your personal ambition? Yeah, because you're a mother, you're a wife,
Yes.
you're an advocate with your own practice, and then we know that you are vying in the upcoming LSK elections,
Yes.
and you aspire for leadership. I believe that's just one step,
Yes.
you know. So how do you balance that and the many expectations and demands?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Interesting. You know, what I realize as I go through this journey is
Yes.
that expectations are constant.
Okay.
They are constant. It doesn't matter. It could be a very small, you know, position that you hold or a big position,
Yeah.
but expectations are constant from the people that perhaps give you the mandate to serve them, or people that are just looking at you from different spaces. They may not necessarily be a constituents, but they're looking at you, observing and watching you.
Yeah.
As a leader, people will expect from you. At the end of the day, I say that what I do must align with the values that I hold, for instance.
Okay.
So that, because in my mind, the way I process it is, you know, the values are the things that ground me.
Yes.
So there's so much expectations, but at the end of the day, I say I need to go back to my values, because those are the things that ground me and align me. And so I do what I need to do that I am comfortable in.
Yes.
My heart is very clear and my mind is very clear about. And I know in whatever capacity I am, I know what is right for the people that, you know, expect from me.
Yes.
Most of the times, you may not know every other time, but yeah. So I try to talk to people, to engage them in whichever capacity, engage them, listen to them. But at the end of the day, you know, there's what I say you cannot deviate from. Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Then now, when we now look at also the roles themselves,
Yes.
how do you balance all these roles?
Okay.
Yeah.
I do not know whether I can say there's a balance. In fact, what I say nowadays is, at any given time, something
Takes priority.
Yes, something takes priority, something takes a backseat. Every other time I have to, for instance, every other time now I have to prioritize perhaps going out, seeking for votes from my colleagues across the country.
Yes.
Of course, my work in the office is lagging behind.
Yeah.
Someone is assisting here and there.
Yeah.
I am sacrificing time with my family. So something is taking a backseat when one is, you know, taking the front of your, you know. So I do not necessarily want to say that there's a balance,
Yeah.
but I think in the grand scheme of things,
Okay.
then there's that kind of equilibrium.
Okay.
So it may not be 50-50 every time. It could be 90-10, 80-20, but
Then
yeah.
tomorrow there's a shift.
Yes. So
okay.
I think that is how I would describe it.
Okay.
Yes.
So again, still on that, I'm really insisting, because
Yes.
that's one of the areas where many women particularly are
Yeah.
told, no, you can't go, you can't participate in that kind of leadership.
Yes.
Or you can't take up that job because it will require a lot of travel.
Yes.
And because you are a wife, you have children, and there are many women who may be listening to us
Yes.
this morning.
Yes.
So what are some of the life hacks
Okay.
that you are employing
Okay.
to just ensure that even if this takes a backseat this time,
Yes.
next time,
Yes. Yes.
it's in its place? How do we balance that?
Thank you so much. That is extremely practical. Extremely practical.
Yeah.
One is support.
Okay.
Support system. You need a lot of support.
Okay.
Like in my office space, of course, I have very supportive colleagues.
Okay.
And it means that then they have to take on a lot of responsibilities when
Yeah.
I'm not there, those that I would ordinarily do.
Yes.
So that is significant support that I have in my office space. At home, you need to have a lot of support,
Yes.
right from your spouse
Yeah.
and to the people in the household. You may need to get additional hands, and that is what I have done personally.
Okay.
And so that then you need a lot of clarity and peace when you stepping out. So when you have a lot of support,
Yeah.
then it is it gives you a lot of peace. So support is critical.
Yes.
From both all your your spaces of responsibility. And maybe just to mention that at the end of the day, the decision is yours. Of course, everyone else around you will say it is not the right time because of this and that. I do not think there will always be a right time or ever be a right time for anything. I think there's always competing demands at every stage of your life. And so I think it is upon you to decide what and how you want to prioritize these competing interests at any given time.
Yeah.
And what I have used as a determining factor, one of the things that factors I've used is 10 years from now, if I decide that I'm stepping back on this thing that I've desired to pursue, will I be happy with myself?
Okay.
If I will not be happy with myself, I pursue it no matter what, but I find now those that you're calling hacks, ways of, bringing the equilibrium with the other facets of my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So what I hear you to be saying is building a strong support system.
It's paramount.
Is,
Yes, it's
okay.
paramount.
Okay. The second thing that I hear you to be saying is that you have to learn to shift depending on what requires your urgent attention per time. Interesting. And the third thing I hear you to be saying is don't allow regret.
Not at all.
Yeah. So that if you feel this is the time, go for it.
Absolutely.
So that 10 years from now, when you look back, you will not say, I wish I did. Because again, I think, and the point I'm also picking from what you're saying is certain opportunities are actually time sensitive, isn't it?
In fact,
Yeah.
Lorena would say, how I process it in my mind is this way, that God provides grace for you for certain things at certain times.
Okay.
And when that grace period lapses, you will really struggle to go back to that space where you feel really comfortable to pursue a certain thing.
Yeah.
And so I believe that when I have that strong nudge or urge to do a certain thing at a certain time, that is God providing grace for me for that season.
Wow.
And so I know when my heart is really convinced that I need to do this now, that I interpret that to mean that God is actually telling me it is okay to do this now. And that is how I move with it, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you mentioned that because, again, in the marketplace, the importance of the voice of God, I know we talk about a lot of marketplace issues on this show, but I think what I'm also hearing from you is we cannot ignore the voice of God in our daily lives.
No.
We cannot ignore the voice of God in our daily planning.
Yes.
It may look mundane and ordinary, and business as usual, but we still need the voice of God even in the midst of that so that it can guide you.
It's a constant.
It's a constant?
Yes, it's a constant.
Okay, okay, fantastic. So viewers, I hope you're following. If you have any questions, please ask. If you have any comments, please make them. Even as we continue with this show, we are live on Facebook, we are live on YouTube. Okay, so interesting. So now, let's say we've overcome the internal obstacles. We've gotten mentors, we've gotten a support team. You know, we are trying to balance, you know, trying to navigate that area. So how then do we build on now external support? And how do we overcome the external obstacles? Because internally, that's okay. But externally, now we have opponents, competitors. We also have, recently have learned, you actually just have idlers, you know, that the minute you decide you're going for something, suddenly, you know, they find you become their agenda.
That's very true.
How do you manage that?
Now, there's a very close link between that and now the feeling of insufficiency. Okay. Because every time you encounter such things, then there's a way you start thinking, am I capable? Am I ready or fully capacitated to deal with this or to be this person's opponent, or you know? But I mean, of course, a race must have opponents, you know? And I say you just do what you have to do, in the sense that if you have had a plan and you know you are well taken care of internally, the way you're saying, then I think you just step up. You just step up, and you know you're already in the arena anyway. So you just have to keep moving, because there's actually many times you will realize that when you're in that space, there's no much motivation from so many spaces. So you realize that you are your first cheerleader, and sometimes you're only cheerleader. Wow. Because you're the one who understands how it feels to be in that space. So you do not have the pleasure of sitting back or seeking sympathy, for lack of a better word. No self-pity, no. You just have to keep moving. Okay. Sometimes you keep moving until you forget that you were facing self-doubt, or you are so afraid of opponents. Just keep moving. And I keep saying every other time, of course all of us want to win, but you keep your mind very open. I feel like that way you're able to do these things without a lot of fear. When you're keeping your mind very open. There's a quote you've reminded me of, President Roosevelt. It's one of my favorite, where he talks about it's not the critic who counts, but rather the man whose face is marred with sweat and blood, who is actually in the arena. Sometimes people imagine that you can be there and give up, that you imagine you can be in there and you have time to actually think about going back. But yet, once you've thrown yourself in the ring, that's it. You know, that's it. You either win or lose honorably, but you have to, you know, finish the race. Okay, interesting. So in terms of some of the strategies that you are using, I know you spoke to us greatly about networks last time. But what are the other strategies that you're using now to ensure that you rise through? Because it's a step-by-step process. I think over and above the networks, it is important that you have people that can give you constructive criticism. And those are people that I talk to so constantly. Especially considering that for me, I've never been in this space, this kind of space. Maybe a similar space, but in a different setup, but now this specific one. So people that have been in this space, one, people that have supported people in this space previously successfully, people, even if not successfully, but they have supported. People that are older than me have been around for a long time.
Yes.
And you always know that if you speak to them, they can give you 1 or 2 nuggets. Yeah, and people that are not afraid to talk to me straight and tell me this will not work. This is a waste of time. Yeah. We should consider doing this, and you have to stop doing this. You know those ones. Yeah. That are not afraid to criticize you so constructively. Yeah. So I think those are very critical. Yeah. Yeah. Very critical.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Roosevelt also says the only man who never makes mistakes is the man who never does anything.
That's true.
Yeah. That's
very
so true. I think it's an encouragement to women across that go out there and do something.
Absolutely.
Don't be afraid to make mistakes, because that's how you learn. The only people who don't make mistakes are people who do nothing. Yeah. The people who are not criticized are the people who do nothing.
That's true.
But for as long as I think we are putting ourselves out there, there will be naysayers, or there will be haters. How do you deal with the haters?
It's interesting you're asking that question, Lorraine, because I had this conversation with a few of my colleagues the other day. Yeah. And I think we were talking about online bullying. Yes. Which is very predominant in this era. Yeah. The truth is that we are human. Yes. And when people, like hate on you and say hateful things, you will be hurt. That is the truth. But then how you navigate that space also matters. Because the moment you put yourself out there in whichever setup, then of course you have opened yourself up to public scrutiny. Yeah. And public scrutiny is necessary. So of course you'll be hurt sometimes. Yeah. But I think it's sometimes or many times you will need to sieve out what you want to pay attention to and what you ought not to pay attention to. Okay. Yeah. And I think that is also the importance of having these people around you that can tell you, people who have been in these spaces, that have walked the same journey, they will give you a few hacks. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And still on the same subject of haters and cyberbullying, what do you think then is something that you need to do? So do you respond? Do you delete? Especially if they come to you. Of course, there are comments all over the place on different platforms. It could be WhatsApp groups, etc., etc. But then what do you do, for example?
No, speaking for myself. Yes. I think there are those that would call for your attention. Yeah. I know I have reached out to a few colleagues, spoken to them, because most of the times it is usually a question or an issue of, first of all, perhaps there's no, they don't have proper facts, or it's just a misconception or something, but you realize that, and most of these people don't know you, you have never interacted in person. So I have, for those that I think I have, determined that are critical, I have actually reached out to these people. And it's interesting when you reach out to people and you have a conversation with them, it is very easy to clear some of these things, because most of them are not usually true. Yeah. Most of them are not usually true. So you're able to, I'm able to talk to them, clear things up, and you actually end up even striking a good friendship, and perhaps acquiring a support or a vote, or both. Yes, and for some, you let them slide because they may not necessarily be inconsequential, but they may, you just think
it gets messier when you engage them.
Yes, so you just let it slide. And for some, you can use people that are closer to them to engage with them. Yeah, people that you know or are known to both of you. Yeah, so depends with the circumstance. It will determine the kind of approach that you take. Yes.
All right. Yeah. Interesting. Fantastic. So viewers, we need to take a break right about now. Thank you for being part of this show. We'll come back in just about 2 minutes. Please take a cup of coffee, a glass of water, and let's meet right after the break.
Convergence Family Camp meeting. The Convergence is bringing together all kinds of ministers, ministries, believers, and guess what? From children all the way to their grandfathers. And the camp meeting for many years has been always a great blessing. Those young people and their parents and older people that have attended the camp meeting, they always know that it is life-changing. It's a time of fellowship and staying in one place until the presence of God changes and transforms our lives. This is an appeal for all Life Church families, wherever in the world. We always must come together. And this December 9th to 13th, that's a Tuesday afternoon all the way to Saturday morning, we are coming together, the Maasai group of schools here in Kenya. If you're out of the country, make plans to travel. If you are in the farthest part of Kenya, make plans to travel. We are coming together. And listen, the people in the Apostolic House and the people in the city and those who are nearby, listen, December we're going to move out of our houses. We're going to camp together. Listen, there is a generation of people you need to connect with. The younger connect with the older mentor and coach the young, and spending time together is going to be a great opportunity. We're going to emphasize on 3 key words: friendship, fruitfulness, functionality. That is in the Gospel of John chapter 15 verses 14 all the way to 17, and this is going to be amazing. Of course, we are bringing together leaders, West Africa, from Netherlands, from America, from here Kenya, and a couple of places. Listen, it is only 1,500 for the adults. For the children and teens who are between 7 years and 13 years, you're gonna pay 1,000. Of course, it costs much more than that, but we're gonna supplement by asking the camp attendees and members of the churches across the country to also contribute to the major budgets of the camp. From the Apostolic House, welcome to the camp meeting 2025. God bless you.
This family camp is open to the whole body of Christ.
Well, welcome back. We continue with our discussion on women in governance, and we are looking at some of the life hacks you need to succeed in the area of elective politics at whatever level. We are looking at how do we balance and really how do we build networks and move forward. So in studio is Vivian Eyase. She's here with us, helping us through that discussion. So Vivian, before we took the break, we were looking at the cyberbullying and how to respond to that, or whether actually to respond. But I want to take it further, still on the same point, and say there's also the body shaming aspect that comes with even women in leadership. So that it's not just that, okay, this is a woman vying, or this is a woman going into elective politics. Sometimes it's not even elective politics, it's just leadership, and you know. But because perhaps they are, you know, a certain weight or a certain color or a certain, you know, maybe fashion style and all that, we find women seem to suffer more. I don't know what your take is on that. And what you think, again, if there's anything more you want to add on what women should do, especially about that body shaming aspect.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Lorraine. That is a very unfortunate situation that is very real. As a matter of fact, women go against, let me just start from this premise and say leaders go against a lot of things, but particularly women leaders.
Yes.
Or women in leadership positions or influential positions, have to face an additional layer of biases from, you know, the society. The question of body shaming is one of them, and it is real. It is happening. Unfortunately, we cannot, I term that as one of the things that I call bad manners. You know, it is impossible to legislate against bad manners, for instance. It is even difficult to say that you will prosecute people for bad manners. That is a question of, morals. You know, your own mind, the way you want to process, the way you want to perceive, the way you want to view people. the truth is that this is not stopping now. It has been there, it is there, and it will be there.
Yeah.
So as women who are in leadership position or who intend to get into these spaces,
yes,
it's something that we must be alive to. And perhaps just, you know, find ways of dealing with it. There are, you know, several ways of dealing with it.
Yeah.
But importantly is the idea of being alive, the fact that it is possible that you will face that.
Okay.
Because I think when you're alive to the fact that you are likely to face something like that, then even dealing or addressing it does not necessarily become extremely difficult.
Yeah.
And because it is a question of your psychology, you know, it affects you psychologically. So, you know, receiving it is difficult depending on a person. It's difficult, but I think it is important that people extend grace to women in these spaces of leadership. I mean, we are women, that is how we are.
Yeah.
Whether it's the color that you want to use to shame someone, or the way they look in terms of the weight or anything, if that is what you want to, I mean, just remember this is possibly your sister, someone's wife, or your mother, or you know. So on that premise, just extend grace.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we've dealt with the issue of cyberbullying. Now I want us to then look at what are the areas that you feel perhaps women should get more involved in terms of leadership or policy, because we have seen, like now we have the assisted reproductive Reproductive Health Act that was just passed recently, championed by, you know, one of our women rights champions, who is a woman herself, and they've been pushing it in Parliament for several years, of course. But because women are there, women can tell our stories. You know, that's Honorable Millie Odhiambo. And because women are there, they can tell our stories, they can tell our struggles. Are there areas perhaps you feel we need to have more women so that perhaps we can have more voices? Yeah, because of course in Parliament, we can see it is working. Even the Sexual Offences Act, I think attributed mostly to now Supreme Court Judge 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗙 is also part of efforts by women to bring, you know, issues that affect women and the girl child more. Are there areas you feel women should move in and help?
Thank you so much for that question, Lauren. Listening to you, and particularly because you mentioned the question of reproductive health, I actually think to myself that the space of health generally relating to women, and then the side of economic empowerment. I think those are critical pillars that women's voices are critical. The unfortunate bit is that in most spaces, women have been, you know, relegated to implementers as opposed to decision makers. And I think it's extremely critical that now women must pursue opportunities to, you know, occupy these spaces in decision-making tables, where decisions regarding maybe women's health are made, decisions regarding economic empowerment are made, because those are the two things that are conjoined, and they determine the progression of a woman. And I also think that it is critical that women are in those spaces, because women know their reality. And so they know what spots to touch to enable women. And so their voices are extremely critical in those spaces.
In those two spaces, all right. So I think it's a call also to women, those that are listening to us this morning. Let's get into those spaces. Let's make a difference. Because I think, as you say it, economic empowerment for a woman is critical, because it's far-reaching in its effects in the society. So let's empower women, let's check about their health. The other question then that I want to ask is this. In terms of leadership for women, and then just leadership generally, do you think that women should have different strategies in leadership? as opposed to what men have? Do you, or is it just leadership is leadership? You know, there are people who say leadership is leadership. You're either a good leader or a bad leader. But then there's where we say, okay, so for a woman, when you're in leadership, this is what you ought to do. Okay. What are your thoughts on that?
Interesting, interesting.
Yeah.
I will start from that point of leadership is leadership.
Okay.
That is my point of departure.
Yes.
Leadership is leadership. Yeah. I say that because the principles of leadership are just universal everywhere. Yeah. However, just like we had mentioned earlier, when you are a woman leader, particularly, there's an extra level of bias that you will face in the society.
Okay.
And so, in my view, that will necessitate you to have capacity to engage on a different level as well. Okay. To be able to deal with this extra level of biases that you will face, for instance. Yeah. And so, in terms of your mobilization, in terms of your engagements, you may need to devise different or extra modes of engagement for you to be able to deal with those circumstances. And these engagements will vary depending on the space that you're actually occupying. Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. You bring to mind leadership in East Africa.
Yes.
and without naming names, even though it is very obvious, we've had allegations of, you know, mass murders, mass graves, you know, abuse of human rights, etc., by somebody people thought would epitomize women leadership. Yet we find ourselves in the same place where we are still having to deal with issues that we have dealt with in Africa for so long. I don't want us to get into that detailed discussion because the facts are also a bit hazy, even though we know it's in public domain. But what can women do, I think, to maybe make the society understand that we can lead and we can lead well? Because for sure that is a dent on women leadership. People will not say it openly, but it is. Yeah, people are saying it in undertones here and there, but you can see it. You can see the undertones, sorry. So how do we build from there? How do we tell people that women can lead and they can lead well?
Thank you. Yeah. Well, that is a setback. But again, I will perhaps address that generally from the position of leadership and say that first, I think when we look at this, it is important that we look at this scenario as from the place of this person is a leader first. Okay. Because we have seen leaders who are male also leading countries and other spaces that have been marred with such, or rather their leadership has been characterized by such events. And so I will start from that standpoint and say I wouldn't want to engender that kind of leadership first because it is just leadership. Yes. But then I think because there's an expectation that as the society has from women leaders and on the character of women leadership. And in this case, I think to myself that this expectation is drawn from a space of society views women as empathetic people. Yeah. Not emotional. There's need to differentiate that. Okay. But empathetic. Yes. And also, I think that women have capacity, a very unique capacity to pull people together, to sit people down around the table and have conversations. Okay. And now I think that if we fail or a leadership fails on that, and unfortunately if this leadership is a woman-led leadership, then those questions of course will arise. However, I think it is a call to all leaders that then it is important that you're able to listen to people, you're able to engage people, because by virtue of you being a leader does not mean that you are right. Yeah. You are not always right. Yeah. Sometimes you make mistakes, and so it is important that you listen to people and engage people. Yeah. Okay. They must feel that they are heard and their opinions are respected. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So leadership is leadership. It doesn't matter whether it's female or male. There are principles of leadership, and we need to abide or, exercise them. Otherwise, it becomes bad leadership, whether it's male or female. Okay, let's talk about power dynamics in terms of rising in elective politics. Power dynamics here being, sometimes the power is shifting. Sometimes some people seem to be up, sometimes it's down. Sometimes it's because of the networks that you have or the team you build and the alliances you build. Sometimes the alliances you build actually work against you. How do you navigate that? And before you answer it, let me give a scenario where we have in our politics, people say, politics is just politics. They are only interests. There are no permanent friends. There are no permanent enemies. Of course, in your case, it hasn't gotten to that level.
Yes.
But then how do you know who to align with? How do you know who not to align with? Or what are the factors you consider in saying, I can be part of this team?
Thank you.
That's hard, I know.
Thank you. I think, let me begin from where you have ended.
Yes.
What are the factors that I would consider to determine whether I want to be part of this team? I think the first thing that I would think of or consider is, I know this will sound interesting, but value alignment.
Wow.
First. Value alignment.
Yes.
If I feel like I align with the values that these people stand for me that is a buy-in, the first buy-in.
Yeah.
The second one is interests as well. So first, if we align in terms of value, and then my interests also somehow are accommodated in this space, or I could find a space to accommodate my interests, then I think that is also important. And I think another determinant would be, in whatever space you're seeking to get into or to lead, then your vision, the vision for your leadership. Do you think that this team or this platform will enable or give life to your vision? So I think if I can see those things, then I am likely to be
part of it.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. And you've ended it nicely, because that's where I pick my next question.
Okay.
So what is your vision? What do you feel is missing in LSK that you would like to add to it? What do you feel needs to be done more? Maybe it's been done, but you feel we need emphasis, or it has been done, but there's need to continue. Yeah. What's your vision?
Okay, thank you, Lorraine.
Yeah.
First of all, I must state that I think LSK is a body that has been around for a long time.
Yes.
And it is difficult to say that there's something extremely novel that you're bringing as a new leader.
Yeah.
Because structures are there.
Yes.
A lot has been done, but definitely there's something more that can be done.
Yes.
In my view. And so I think it is also the idea of building on what has already been established, or seeking ways to better, to better what is there. And so one of the things that I think is critical, maybe first I should start by saying that I have had an opportunity to engage with colleagues from different parts of the country, at least for the period that I have gone round. And I have spoken to the younger bar, I have spoken to the mid bar mostly, and a few of the seniors. And now certain issues have become, very explicit in terms of maybe needing address, by perhaps the next council. And one of the things that I think I would give priority to is the question of practice welfare for the practitioners. Now, a lot of issues have been raised about how the CTS, the e-filing system operates. One of them is the question of obtaining orders for our certificates. Well, the applications we file and the certificate of urgency, some take so long before they get attended to. And you see, by the reason why you are filing an application under certificate of urgency is because it is urgent. Sometimes your client is going to be auctioned. Sometimes you need to stop something that is very critical. And so if these applications are not attended to as or treated as urgent,
Yeah.
then of course you end up missing out on the window that you really sought to get whatever order you are seeking to within that period. And that is a question that we may need to find better ways of addressing.
Yeah.
Another issue under welfare still is the question of obtaining decrees at last. For the people who do court litigation,
Yes.
you have done a rigorous job at litigating your matter. Now you are at the tail end. You want to do the harvest now.
Yes. Yes.
And then you have to go through very rigorous processes. You have to do follow-ups. You have to, sometimes you have to part with money for you to be able to get this decree even signed or just generally obtaining it. So it is not proper to take advocates through that. And then another issue also just touches on, there's a lot of, in the recent days, the engagements between, or rather the relationship between the bar and the bench.
Yeah.
We can see the rise of complaints regarding the conduct of some of the members of
JOs,
the So I think we need to find better ways of having a forum of engaging and having the voices of the members of the bar heard. Yeah, it is very, very critical to have that practice environment that is accommodative. And then there's also the question of the shrinking space of practice.
Yeah.
The issue of shrinking space of practice is either informed by people who have invaded the practice space who are not qualified to practice. There's a lot of that. Whether in the courts, whether in the conveyancing space, in the commercial space. People from different spaces. So we need to find a way of guarding this. And there's also the question of a shrinkage in terms of, I think, technology. To be fair, now, when I started my own practice in 2019, I did not have clients, but I had a lot of work because I did a lot of briefs for my senior colleagues. I went out to so many courts. I had many files. I prosecuted matters, and the reason for that is because we used to do physical courts. But now, I am able to handle 3 matters in Kisumu, in Mombasa, in Eldoret, right from my office in Nairobi, alone. So it is a matter of just, setting up and dealing. That already tells you that someone has not had an opportunity to do a matter for you or to earn a living out of that. That alone, it is just one of them that I've mentioned, shows you that, that space has already taken a dive. And this means that then law firms are not able, or rather do not see the need of onboarding so many associates. They don't see the need of onboarding so many pupils or so many interns. So that has already taken a dive. And so we need to find ways of accommodating especially our younger colleagues who are getting into the profession. The truth of the matter is, Lorraine, it is not very easy. For this season that I have engaged with colleagues, I have received numerous calls from younger colleagues. They tell you they have not been able to, to even meet their monthly obligations. Not 1 or 2, a good number. And so that tells you, it or rather paints a picture of how things look like. And so it is important that we actually embrace technology because it is here. There's nothing you can do. You can't resist it. But it is also very important that we now look innovatively into the question of how we need to expand our practice. Because then it means even with technology, then there's emerging areas of practice which we will then need to build the capacity of practitioners to get into those spaces so that then we are able to open up the space for practice. It doesn't keep taking a dive, but as we lose other spaces of practice, then we are able to open up other spaces. And then the last thing that I will mention for the sake of this conversation is the question of mentorship. I in my engagements with the younger bar, I have determined that it's extremely necessary that we have enough fora for mentorship. And in this case, I will be very categorical about the style of mentorship the senior members of the bar being paired with the junior members of the bar, or having more opportunities of meeting and engaging intentionally. And so so for me it will be a priority to create this fora, these spaces, to enable the younger colleagues benefit from this their seniors. And I mean, there's also reverse mentorship in the course of doing that. As a matter of fact, personally, I have benefited a lot from the younger, and even importantly from the seniors as well, because I have a pool of them that I reach out to for whatever reason, you know. And for me, it has been extremely beneficial. And we cannot underestimate the importance of mentorship, because it will also help us bridge the gap between the senior bar and the junior bar. Even as the junior bar transitions into that space, we need people to hold us as we go. Yes.
Interesting. It's interesting that you mentioned the need for mentorship, because for us, when we were being admitted to the bar, courts were physical, so we attended court. And even then, courts were in different places, even in this city. But I remember Milimani was the most common, because that's where the commercial courts were. But I remember after court, we always went to take tea.
To have tea.
Yes. And when you took tea, the seniors didn't care whether you are in their farm.
Not at all.
As long as you are an advocate, you are carrying your files, you know, have a seat. And they would engage, you know. And we had a lot of camaraderie, and it was amazing because you learn. You go to court, they are presenting, you know, and you know, they are arguing their matters. Then you had an opportunity to actually sit down and ask. Now you can only watch, you know, on the platform, and then after that, even by the time you get somebody's number, you know.
Even knowing them. How will you get the number? You don't know them. You don't have opportunities to meet them. You perhaps have never heard of them, because there are seniors who keep to themselves. Actually, not intentionally, but I think as you grow older, you know, you don't have common places of meeting. And so we need to create opportunities and platforms where we will have an opportunity to engage as the junior and the senior members of the bar, because it is extremely critical. I can tell you for sure that there are younger members of the bar that have not had the experience that we had the privilege of having, of seeing, you know, certain people that we have admired in the profession for a long time arguing their cases. That presentation alone is mentorship. That presentation alone is mentorship, even without them sitting down with you. And so I think we need to be creative about this and find a way of continuous mentorship. Interesting. I think that's really one area we need to do, because even just the way we used to dress, I used to love it. I know.
Nowadays, as long as someone has a shirt and a tie, you know. Ask them for a meeting, then you'll know that people are just, you know, for court and all. So I think I understand where you're coming from, and I applaud you for that, and I wish you the very best.
Thank you so much.
As you make the Law Society better for all of us. You and your colleagues, of course, we wish you well. So now I think we need to end the show, and as we end the show, I think I would just ask you, what is your parting shot? It may be related to LSK politics, it may be related to women in governance, but what would be your parting shot? That's your camera.
Thank you. My parting shot will particularly address the younger women, or maybe not young, but a woman who seeks to get into a space of leadership. I would say that you have to begin from where you are, by perhaps plugging into, you know, a volunteer group, for instance, organizing your community to rally for something, or even if it's a chama, you know, taking up the leadership position and, you know, leading your fellow women into that space. Like, begin from somewhere, and where you are particularly, a forum that is accessible to you, and build up from there, because there's no formula with leadership. You just have to start from where you are. That will be my parting shot.
All right. Fantastic. Viewers, that's all we've had time for. Thank you for tuning in. Until next Thursday, I've been your host, Laureen Magotsi. Thank you, and from all of us at Elevate TV is goodbye, and God bless you.